What's up guys, it's Drac, and maybe, just maybe, we saved the best for last. Let's talk about the N-Series pinpoint. All right, so like I said, this is basically the spiritual successor to the Eagle Point. And if you're not in the industry and you're a hyper performance enthusiast, the Eagle Point probably wasn't that exciting to you. It was pretty easy to glaze over if all you cared about was like top-end performance, ultimate aesthetics, etc. and so forth. But ultimately, as the category leader in a lot of ways, Hasbro caters to the mass market, and that's where we get a lot of our new players. From an industry perspective, I'll tell you the Eagle Point is really cool just because the Eagle Point sold more units than just about any other blaster, period. Incredibly popular, having a quote-unquote sniper rifle at that $20 price point. And so clearly that's kind of the genie that they want to capture again in the bottle here with the pinpoint. However, I also know the lead designer for this product. They're a good friend of mine, so I'm really excited to get this one out of the package, shoulder it up, and see if it delivers on all expectations. But we'll go over it in our usual fashion. It's got a 10-dart clip, which is actually a magazine. We roasted them pretty good about that at the mothership. Comes with 18 darts. For some reason, they were like, double your darts on almost all of the N-Series, except for 2 darts that we're not putting in this one. 8 extra darts is nice. With no onboard dart storage, it doesn't necessarily make sense why there's 8 extra instead of 10 extra, but I digress. The magazine is a little interesting in that it's not our traditional in-strike box mag. It's actually far more in line with some of the Ultra magazines. It kind of has the lips, and you really want to shoot everything in the magazine. Otherwise, we'll get to it. Anyway, extreme accuracy, speed, distance, large scope dart clip. Again, hitting that 8 and up category. Over here, you can see it's laid out nicely in digital form. Bolt action, large scope, 10 dart clip, clip release. Couldn't be a simpler control suite. Let's see if there's any assembly required. Pop it out of the package. So a little bit of assembly required. Main blaster, 18 darts, 10 round magazine, bolt, and what appears to be a largely faux barrel. It does not look like this is going to attach in such a way that it'll close the bore, but we could be wrong. I like this as a feature. It looks like the bolt is going to screw on and screw off. Kind of a value add from back in the day when we had the clip-in bolts, where if you ever wanted them to pop out, you had to use a claw hammer and it made it harder to disassemble or store the blaster. This, on the other hand, looks very much like once it's in, it's in. So assemble it when you are ready to have it assembled. Don't plan on putting it back in the box. So this is a brand new magazine. It's not the traditional in-strike magazine. That's not necessarily a pro, but it's not an explicit con either. The darts only go in one way. You kind of get that indication not only by the labeling on the magazine itself, but also the shape of the feed here. So you push them in like so, and then it'll push past these lips. The lips have torsion on them so that they retain the darts like so, and it creates a closed system. So that's great for like various different dump pouch solutions, etc. But the way that it works is when you put the magazine into the blaster, the lips open up and all the darts come out. Super efficient for loading, not the best for like topping off, and then more to the point, becomes a little frustrating where, let's say you don't know how many shots you've taken, you have 3 darts left, you're in the product, you're firing, you're having a blaster battle, and you're like, I need to reload. Well, now you really need to reload because you just lost a dart off the top of your magazine because as you pulled out, those lips released some of their tension and the dart flew out as though it was going to be chambered. Not the end of the world. Let's get back to the assembly. Click, done. Does not come off. This should slide through like so. Little righty-tighty action. And you're back at it like a bad habit. Let's go over the product features. Pretty bare bones. Like I said, this is a faux barrel, induces a slight amount of drag, and then once you're into the barrel itself, like everything past here is nothing. It's just very open, kind of just giving you that extra length to give you that sniper feel. More of a futuristic DMR, almost like Nike inspired, like very sports centric. But for the target demographic, that's pretty sweet. No bandolier attachment points anywhere on this. Thumb hole grip here. Stock is a little tight, but your average in-series player is not over 6 feet tall. So cheek rest is also pretty tight, but you've got a built-in scope, not removable. You're stuck with it. However, it really blends into the lines of the blaster quite nicely. It looks almost organic. Very, very cool. You do have one in-strike rail up here. A little confusing, in my opinion, when Hasbro makes this choice to put in-strike rail immediately in front of built-in scopes. You can't remove this optic. So what are you putting in front of this optic that's now blocking this optic? It can't be another optic because it's not, zoom doesn't work that way. It's not like I have a 0x zoom and then a 2x zoom. Now we're getting into, ultimately, you know, a pretty clean sniper-esque aesthetic. Follows the overall design language of the entire series. That's the blue, the orange, and the white. For something with this profile that you could be running around having backyard blaster battles with, I do really admire the decision to go with like a lot of orange. The entire front end of the blaster is orange. There's no way you're peeking, you know, out of mom's shrubbery with this thing and it being mistaken for anything but what it is. So I do applaud that choice. You've got 10X here telling you it's an interesting choice because 10X kind of marries you to the magazine. You'd think that the 10X would be on the magazine since this holds 10 darts and the blaster itself would be generic. That's like saying, why would you put 6X on a long shot when half of us used it with 25 round drums? Go figure. That's a strange choice, but aesthetically, I do think that the overall use of line and the profile of the blaster looks really sleek. Athletic performance equipment meets sci-fi meets sniper rifle. Pretty sick. The prime is comfortable. Click, click. Fire with no safety and no bolt lock. It does have a bolt lock. You just want to make sure that you fully engage back into that position because as you just saw, if you don't fully engage, the trigger has a lock and it won't do anything. Once again, I don't believe this product has slam fire. It's the kind of thing that you might think has slam fire, but it's an introduction to the line. Slam fire would be a good feature here, but it does go against the, you know, one shot, one tag, ultra precision of the Anyway, these darts do fly relatively straight, so perhaps the optic will be a good include. Now, I think this, I'm not sure if it'll load with the bolt closed. It will. That's a nice feature. That's, I guess, the value add of having a magazine like this is that it doesn't have to slip a bolt. You're just gonna deposit a dart into the pathway every time you chamber. So, firing it is comfortable. It is ambi, given that it does not have a safety. You could fire with either hand, whether you're right or left-handed, since it does have a bolt on both sides. Overall, a pretty sleek blaster. It's hard to believe that it's $20 just because it does fit into that primary category. I mean, it's a mag-fed bolt-action blaster that's going to deliver very similar performance to the other things in the line. Let's take it, put it over the chronograph, see how it does downrange. Alrighty, so we're over here with the agility. We're going to put a few over the chronograph, then we're going to put some downrange. Clearly, this should be the most accurate of the N-series products, as it is the one with a built-in sniper scope. So all optics aside, let's just line it up over the magical number machine, and we missed. 90, not bad. 89, I really like the pop of a breech system blaster. Sounds good. 88. I was aiming for the target there. 91. 87, 91, 90. Remarkably consistent performance out of the agility. Let's put some downrange. Reloaded and ready to go. Let's pop that inside. Back and forth. And let's line up for the 30-foot target here. I'm gonna try using the optic and then I'm gonna use years of expertise and intuition. We'll see what's better. Optic Drac no likey. Let's start shooting from the hip. Let's drop the mag, reload it, be right back. Alrighty, so I think I've decided if I can't improve my accuracy, I'm gonna improve the size of the targets. I think in future videos, we're gonna make them a little bit bigger. Give ourselves more room to breathe. But I'm gonna put a few down range, just see what the overall range of this is. Obviously, with any foam flinging implement, to get more power, you gotta tilt up a little. So let's see how straight we can get them. If we hit any of the target at 60 feet, I'm gonna be pretty pleased. So you can definitely arc them up to 70 feet. That's pretty good. Oh, that was close. I think that was. It went up. It looked like it was good. It would have been a field goal. Let's just say that. So certainly more accurate than an elite dart, although, you know, still a little bit of room to grow over here. I think that this is an insane blaster for $20. You get all of the primary play patterns, you get bolt action, you get a magazine. I mean, it's got a lot going for it. when you consider that it is $20 on the shelf, brand new ammo type, pretty exciting performance, 90 FPS. It's doing everything in that 8 and up category that Hasbro wants to be accomplishing, all in one box, all in one package. But you guys can't go anywhere just yet because we're not just shamelessly fishing for likes. You guys should like this video and leave Jinx a happy birthday. I know that you're not gonna leave without telling Jinx happy birthday. When we found Jinx 5 years ago, we weren't sure she was gonna make it. Her unofficial birthday, based on kind of where her teeth were at when we found her, is somewhere in early June. And as an end war puppy, we decided that it would be about June 11th. So this should be going live around that time. So make sure that you wish Jinx a happy birthday. Jinx, say goodbye to the viewers.